Namaste. Welcome you all for the classes on meditation. This is the 37th in the series. In this series, we are trying to explore our own mind from the perspective of Patanjali's Yoga Sutra. And we are trying to look at how this turbulent mind can be taken to a tranquil state. Because as long as the mind is turbulent, there is no peace, there is no joy actually. Other times we feel joy only as an event-based phenomena. Like a spike, it comes and then goes away, and the mind is always in a troubled state. Whereas our scriptures say that we are all Ananda Swarupis. We are bliss, but we miss that because of Avidya, ignorance. Patanjali defines what is Avidya. I think we have been looking at that from a couple of classes. Today we will continue exploring this aspect of Avidya and let us contemplate and know how it applies to our own life, our own mind. So first sit upright. Gently close your eyes. Palms should face upwards. Tip of the thumb and index finger in contact. You can even sit on a chair, but sit upright. Watch your posture. Just watch your breathing. Now you'll see, even to watch a couple of breaths, it could be difficult if the mind is very turbulent. just watching the breath. You will understand how dynamic is your mind, how difficult it is to keep the attention, but with steady practice, it is possible to hold on to the attention, and the shift in the attention, the kind of thoughts that actually take you away from the attention, they all depend upon the kind of samskaras or the impressions in the chitta, the subconscious mind. To understand the impurities in the chitta and to get over them so that mind can become tranquil, you can hold the attention. That's the purpose of meditation. In that we are looking at the 5 kleshas: Avidya, Asmita, Raga, Dvesha, Abhinivesha. We have looked into detail about Raga, Dvesha, Asmita and Abhinivesha. Now we are trying to explore the fundamental klesha called Avidya. So before further exploring, let us chant the sacred word Om 3 times. Quietly watch the inner calmness. Because of the habitual pattern, the mind just goes away either into the past or the future. Just watch. Now slowly open your eyes. Today we will look at the analysis of Ashuchi. Where does this come? It comes from the definition of Avidya. Anitya, Ashuchi, Dukkha, Anatmasu, Nitya, Shuchi, Sukha, Atmakyatir Avidya. What is Avidya? It is mistaking the impermanent to be permanent, mistaking impure to be pure, mistaking dukkha to be sukha, mistaking anatma to atma. We have seen how we mistake anitya to be nitya. We also saw how to analyze the nitya and anitya. Now we will look at about the analysis of Ashuchi, impure, and how we mistake it to be pure. For this we will have to first at the physical level look at the definition of Shaucha. As given by sage Patanjali, and we shall contemplate on that. This is sage Patanjali's when he talks about Shaucha. Purity, cleanliness. When he defines Ashtanga Yoga, and in that he defines Shaucha, Santosha, Tapas, Swadhyaya, Ishvara Pranidhanani, Niyamaha. The personal code of conduct. There he says, what is Shaucha? Shauchat Swa Anga Jugupsa Parairasam Sargaha. This is a beautiful statement. And this one statement is good enough for us to understand how we mistake impure to be pure. So if you are observing Shaucha, purity, Swa Anga Jugupsa, Jugupsa means some sort of a frustration on what? Swa Anga. Why? Because this body, this Anga means this body. If you really go a little deep, is full of filth. But we have to take it in the right perspective. It is not that we should hate this body or this whole process is of birth, etc. is not sacred. That is not the idea. The idea here is how we mistake impure to be pure. So we should keep this framework properly, and under this framework we should now look at this Swanga Jugupsa. Why? Because you can see we secrete sweat and all other whatever we digest, it gets converted to filth inside, they are excreted. So therefore, that jugupsa answanga. If you are following this shaucha very keenly, then parairasam sargaha. When you are having a sort of frustration about your own body's purity, parairasam sargaha, You don't feel like touching the other. Now just close your eyes. We shall contemplate on this. This whole process this system called body came into existence when the sperm and ovum, both are excretions only, came into union. Then in the womb, this body was amidst filth. In the garbha or uterus of the mother, which is located close to the excretory systems. In the darkness, it started growing. Well, please remember, it is not to say that this process is unholy or the womb of the mother is unholy. No, it is just to trace the path of purity and impurity of this body. Then into that place which is full of Ashuchi, this body got developed and we came out through the yoni of our mother. And when the baby, as we were born, this body has to be cleaned. That's a process. Then when we were infants, yes, all this excretions, it just happened, and our bodies got smeared with all that, believed with that impurity. That's why often our mother or parents used to clean. That steady maintenance is needed to keep this body tolerant. Otherwise it becomes intolerable. On its own, the Ashuchi will increase. So there has to be some intervention to ensure cleanliness. Then as we grew, we all know into the adulthood, we started loving this body. We started thinking it is pure, clean, etc., but it is not so. Just imagine the foul smell of the sweat. We have to do some regular maintenance. In the morning when you get up, we have to brush our teeth. Otherwise, you see that foulness. If you don't bathe, there is foulness. And today there are a lot of deodorants, etc., which will mask this foulness. It cannot remove the foulness, it will only mask. So this Shaucha is built into the system. And as it is, when you eat something, drink something, after all the useful things are ingested, they get converted to filth. Fortunately, we have a nice sealing system. The large intestine, the urinary bladder, etc., which will not allow that foulness to spread till it comes out. Once it comes out, we ourselves don't tolerate, we want to clean it immediately. So there is a lot of Ashaucha, impurity in this body. We must note it again that this is not to develop disrespect to this system. It is only to understand that how ignorant we are in thinking that this is pure while it is not so. Contemplate on these. Even that external beauty that we see, we appreciate, we fall for it. That is only just a covering. If that layer of covering called the skin, just once 1/10 of the of the outer covering, if it is peeled off, This body looks terrible. Then as we age, the system further degrades. Even inside the body, organs could rot. We must recognize these things, contemplate on these things to release that grip of attachment over the body. That's the purpose. And once the jiva departs, you cannot keep this body for too long. It will start smelling, foul smell. That's why once the jiva departs, this has to be immediately properly disposed. Either you bury or burn. Why? Because it is the shell of impurity. So thus we can see from womb to the tomb, this is full of impurities, and we mistake this Ashuchi to be Shuchi. And that can lead to stronger and stronger attachment, which becomes a source of all our sufferings. This is at the physical level. We will look at other deeper aspects of mental and emotional impurities in the next class. It must be noted that Patanjali's intention is to show how much of ignorance or avidya is there, understanding that and instilling vidya or knowledge should help us to develop non-attachment, because that is the sole purpose. Because without abhyasa and vairagya, mastery over the mind is impossible. So we should understand these things with the right perspective. And even when we are engaged in keeping the system clean, we must know that this system is inherently Ashuchi. Let's offer our prayers to Sage Patanjali. Take a deep breath. Yogena Chittasya Padena Vacham Malam Sharirasya Cha Vaidyakena Yopakarotam Pravaram Muninam Patanjalim Pranjaliranatosmi Hari Om. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Shubhamastu.